I'm glad that I did it to say that I did it, but I'm not gonna be doing it again. Our names are Mike and Heather. We're traveling the US in our van Appa on a mission to visit all 50 states. Subscribe and join us as we try to figure out this whole van life thing. As always, thanks for watching.
Good morning from the van. We woke up bright and early because we have reservations for a couple of tours over at the Kualoa Ranch.
Technically the ranch is not in the North Shore, it's quite far. It's about an hour towards the east side of the island. We haven't visited that side of the island yet, so we're really excited. And we have the gypsy guide pulled back up, so as we're driving that hour, we're also getting a lot of great information and some really cool stops that we may just have to make on the way back.
We're driving alongside sits in the Ka'ava Valley, and the ranch provides the only way that you can experience the beauty of the valley up close.
We have arrived at the ranch, and I gotta say, it feels so good to be back to van life. Even for a couple of days here in Hawaii, just being able to have all of our stuff in one place. Also a little bit scary again because if we ever get broken into, but I think we've hit everything, and there's a little safe that our van comes with, so we're good. But van life feels good.
So we're getting ready to head in. We needed to get here about 45 minutes before the tour starts, so we are here and ready to go, but it was an absolutely beautiful drive down the Kamehameha Highway. Amazing views of the mountains, the ocean, surfers. It was great. It was definitely a fantastic way to start the morning as we make our way down here to the Kualoa Ranch for our tour that we're about to head into. The Kualoa Ranch is famous for having absolutely beautiful scenery, so much so that this is a place that has been featured in a ton of Hollywood movies. So we are going to be exploring some of those locations as well as doing a little bit of agricultural tourism. Walking in, it's already stunning. The mountains behind the building, the ocean across the street, it's great. So on the wall here they have legendary Hollywood stars, famous people that have come and visited the ranch either to visit or as part of the movies that have been shot here.
We have a list of all the films and TV shows, including one of our favorite shows, Amazing Race. This tour check-in waiting area has exhibits with artifacts from the different movies that were shot here, like Jurassic Park and the new Netflix movie Finding Ohana. So depending on which tour that you choose, you will be driven to different parts of this ranch and past different movie locations. But there are a variety of tours to choose from, so not only are there movie location tours, but also adventure ones like zip lining, ATV tours, and even horseback riding, which is pretty cool. We went with 2 different tours that are going to take us to 2 different locations here in the ranch. The first tour that we will be going on is the Malama Aina tour. And Malama Aina means to respect and care for the land. Although we are only here for a short amount of time, we want to pay our own respects to this amazing place. So this tour was an absolute must for us.
We're going to do a little bit of tending to our lo'i, a dry bed of kalo or taro. And then we're going to kind of do a little bit of we have an area where we hike up to the point. And so we're going to just malama that path. And the main thing is she stops and she goes. So we're good.
Now that we've met up with our guide, Evie, we're going to be taking a short driving tour past some farming and movie locations on the way to a shrine that we'll be helping take care of, as well as a hiking path we're going to be clearing.
Last Resort, Jurassic World, Snatch, and 51st Dates were all filmed in this location. In fact, here's the Hukilau Cafe. You saw 51st Dates with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. This was the Hukilau Cafe. Wakea is a place where 2 of our most important gods reside. So I'm going to go introduce you to them. So we're going to just go tend to this area first. So this site is a very historical site. Wakea is our sky father and Papa is our earth mother. And these 2 gods were responsible for creation. The grass that's growing, basically just pull and we're just tossing it down below.
Right now we're tending to a shrine to Wakea and Papa. who are two Hawaiian gods that represent the sky and earth. We're having a lot of fun just kind of clearing the excess greenery from this area.
Kind of till into the soil. Be careful when you touch it, but this was, and these are the seeds, but this is very medicinal. My kumu will harvest this. She'll pull it out from the pico, or the center. There we go. So this is the part that they would actually dry and mulch or mash, and then it excretes an ointment or an oil, and that's what they make tea with. I think this was somebody just made for Wakea. He was also known as a fertility stone.
This tour is really neat because although we are cutting down a lot of the weeds, as we're walking by some of the other plants, whether they're medicinal or have special properties, we're getting little lessons on every one, including ones that you can eat. So a very educational tour to make you really appreciate the things here in Hawaii and how they all work together and how we can help as well.
I thought I saw another one. Here's another one right here on the ground. This is like a liquid Band-Aid. This is good stuff. This is Hawaiian chili pepper. We call this ni'oi.
After weeding the shrine and weeding some of a hiking path, we're actually going down the hiking path to a viewpoint. It's pretty impressive. We just finished with the Malama Aina tour, which is the Care for the Land tour, and I really felt like we got to be part of something a little bit bigger than just being a tourist here, which was really nice. It's part of like sustainable and ecotourism, and I'm so glad that we got to do something like that while we were in Hawaii. We got to learn about different plants. We even got to try some cacao, is that how you pronounce it? Which is the fruit that makes chocolate. It tastes nothing like chocolate traditionally, but then they also gave us a chocolate bar. So a really great experience, and I would highly recommend that tour if you are coming to this ranch. We are gonna go on a more kind of cliche tour here as well, the typical tourist thing to do, which is a movie tour. We got a little taste of that on the tour that we just went to. We drove past some of the filming sites. They kind of give you a tour of everything before you actually go to work, but the next tour that we go on is gonna be specific for the movies and TV shows, so I'm very excited. But while we wait for our next tour to start, we grabbed some food at the cafe and we're gonna eat that, hop on another bus, and see some movie locations. So after scarfing down our food in under 5 minutes because we had to meet up with our tour, we hopped on a bus and we're at our first stop, which is a place that they call Jurassic Valley. So this is some of the most iconic shots of where Jurassic Park was filmed. So instead of all the cows, just picture dinosaurs.
So this is the Ka'aaba Valley, and they actually call this as sort of a nickname, Jurassic Valley, and it actually goes all the way down. So there's been a lot of different Hollywood movies shot here, especially the Jurassic Park movies, which is kind of how this area got its sort of nickname.
While we were waiting to board the bus, it started raining.
Yeah, like a pretty good quick downpour. It's done now. It lasted all of like 45 seconds, but enough to completely soak us as we were outside the bus, and then also the right side of the bus's seats.
But we got the last one on the left side with the dry seats, so I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But this is our view, so we can't really complain. And it already stopped raining.
Yeah.
For now.
This shows how they're able to make these statues walk by using rope.
There's a really fun photo opportunity here with one of the logs from a very famous scene in Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs are running down the hill. They hide behind the dead log, and then there's a T-Rex that runs out. So you're able to kind of recreate that. You're being attacked by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So absolutely great fun. A lot of really great pictures coming out of this.
On your right side, the same hill that Dr. Grant and the kids were standing when the Gallimimus chased them down. In this hill on your right was the same hill that they used in Jumanji, giant Godzilla, and he walks him into these giant footprints. The original Japanese version has 5 toes, and the American one has 3 toes. This is her route every morning to work. You know, she takes the same route because her memory, you know, resets.
right now they're in talks of actually doing
anyone around who just
And on your left side, George of the Jungle did some filming here too. They turned and they realized it was Mike Johnson, and the bus was like, it's The Rock.
We have wrapped up our second tour here at the Kualoa Ranch. We got to see a lot of really awesome movie locations, including Kong Skull Island, 51st Dates, Jurassic Park. There's movies that we've seen that we recognized, movies that we now have to watch because we've seen them here. Oh, Jumanji was a big one, Mighty Joe Young. There was a lot of them. It was a lot of fun, and Heather and I, being big movie fans, recognized a lot of locations from the films. We had a great tour guide. Both sets were really great. The first tour we were on was more sort of like intimate and focused on giving back to the land. This one was maybe a little bit more touristic in the general sense, but no less fun.
I'm glad we did both.
So now we are getting ready to head out from here, and we've got some decision making to do. I think we're looking to try Koko Head Crater. The very steep staircase hike. It's kind of intimidating, but I think we're heading in that direction now. It'll be a little bit of a drive.
Now that we have the camper van, we really have the freedom to go wherever we want without having to Uber and pay a pretty penny to do so. So I think we're gonna meet back up with Nate and Blair and go do that hike. Keeping on the theme of stunning landscapes and scenery, we are stopping at a botanical gardens on the way to the Koko Crater, and this botanical gardens is free, so we couldn't pass up the opportunity to pull in, get a look around before we go on a hike to get even more pretty scenery.
We just saw a mongoose.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We missed it by about 2 minutes.
We have come over to the Hoʻomaluhia Botanical Gardens, which is a free area that you can come into. We decided that with the short amount of time we have, we would do the Hawaiian plants area. So we're going to be able to see native Hawaiian plant species, which is really cool. We were able to meet back up with Nate and Blair after they finished their horseback riding, which sounds like it was an amazing time. We're still in that same mountain range that we were near at the Kualoa Ranch, so it's just absolutely beautiful. We're starting to see mongoose, I think is the proper plural for that, on the trails, which they're an invasive species, so they're not meant to be here, but they are cute when you see them.
Rapid fire review of your horseback riding experience. Where'd you go and how'd you like it?
We went to Gunstock Ranch, and the guides were really laid back. We've never horseback ridden before. Within a minute, we were comfortable on our horses, and
That's good.
the views were nice. We got poured on for like a minute at the top where the scenic overlook is, so it was kind of ironic, but
Yeah.
it was really fun.
My horse's name was Dora. She was a diva, so it fit me perfect.
And mine was I forget the name, but it was Strong and Hawaiian, and he was definitely headstrong because he did not want to be ridden.
Got one to match both your personalities then. After a quick walk around the botanical gardens, we closed it down. I think we're some of the last people leaving because it is just before 4 o'clock now when they close. We changed into some hiking gear because we are headed still down the coast to the Koko Crater hike.
It's a hike that we've heard a lot about and really are excited to go back and give it a try. So it's a little bit away from where we're staying on the North Shore, so we're backtracking a bit to get there, but we didn't get a chance to do the incline hike in Colorado, which is a similar hike where it's a straight up with a sort of staircase feel. This one is really similar. It's a straight vertical climb on some old railroad ties because there was a rail line that went up to the top. So it's supposed to be on the more challenging side, but I think the reward is some really incredible views. So it's one that we didn't feel we could pass up. So we're making our way back down to that end of the island to complete that hike before we spend a bit more time in the North Shore. Just to our left here is the Koko Head hike. It looks pretty intimidating. It's just straight up the side of this mountain. So we are out of the van and we are beginning the Koko Head Crater hike, or Koko Crater hike, up to the top of that mountain. There are over 1,200 steps. So
I thought I got out of doing this hike the other day when we drove past it and we're like, oh, we'll do it another day. And then everybody would forget about it, but sadly, that did not happen.
Yeah, so you start down in the parking lot and there's a little bit of a paved path to get you up to the kind of start of the actual trail, which we're about to get on. And then you go up a little ways, I think, before you get to the steps.
You just keep going up.
Well, yes.
And up and up.
It is all uphill from here.
We're just starting. I'm about 10 steps in. I think over 1,000 to go.
We're continuing to make our way up the tramway. And yes, this is all steps, but it's kind of cool. It's a novel type of trail. It's something a little bit different. Very challenging, but I think it's going to be really rewarding at the top.
So we've come to like a bridge, so there's nothing underneath it. So you can either climb over that or take the bypass. I think I'm definitely going to take that on the way down, but we'll go that way first. Honestly, that was way more scary than I thought it was, and on the way down, I'm definitely going to take the bypass. I was shaking the whole time, but I wanted to push myself, but being afraid of heights, yeah, that was pretty hard for me. I'm glad that I did it to say that I did it, but I'm not gonna be doing it again. We also met a friend. He's solo traveling down there, so we're just making sure that he's also going across the bridge and gonna make it as well. But we still have about half the hike to go.
That kind of seems to have marked the point where you are going at a incline to now going at a very steep incline.
All right, we all made it, so we're going to the top.
You're now at the top of the Koko Head hike. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Are we?
Look at that view. That's a thumbs up.
There was a lot of steps.
Basically, there is a lot of steps, so if that's not your thing, this hike is going to be a little bit miserable. It's all incline, all vertical.
Type B fun.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's an intense hike. It's a little bit demoralizing when you see people running up and down as their fitness routine with weighted jackets or vests.
So many people passed me. A dog passed me.
The views from the top are absolutely worth it. Right across from us is Hanauma Bay, which is where we're going to be snorkeling tomorrow morning. Some of the best snorkeling in the world happens there. So you get beautiful views, definitely worth it.
I will say that I hated every second of going up, but I do feel very accomplished right now, so I guess that's worth it. I also think I live here now because I'm kind of terrified to go back down.
I've had some good days, and I've had some worse, but none compared to the days that I've had with you.
So we completed the last little bit of the hike up to the summit. After the stairs, there's still a little bit of a pathway that takes you up to the top where there's a pillbox. Right now it seems like there's a party going. There's a ton of music playing. Everyone's having a good time up at the top of this hike. And now we're beginning to make our way down. I think the sun has just about set, so we're gonna work our way down and try and be as safe as we can. We're definitely taking that bypass over the Bridge of Death section. So we'll be able to see what that looks like. This is definitely an approved and potentially even recommended way of going across the bridge. This has definitely been a nice little bypass. Those are all flashlights coming down from the top of the Koko Head hike. That was us just a little bit ago.
We survived the hike down, and I can definitely see why that is on the must-do list for a lot of people here visiting Oahu. The views at the top were absolutely amazing, and as far as the experience itself, it is a pretty cool hike if you think about it conceptually. You're on old railroad tracks that the military used to use, and it goes straight up, and there's pillboxes on top. But for me personally, that was a scarier hike than Angel's Landing. And when I told that to Mike, he didn't like understand why, but Angel's Landing, at least you had ropes and you would go up a scary part and it'd be flat, and then you go up another scary part and it'd be flat, but you have ropes the whole time. That one was just like straight up with nothing to hold, and then going down, it was just really steep. So it was definitely a challenge for me, and I do have a fear of heights, so I always like to try the things to hopefully one day work through that, but today was not that day. It was definitely a challenge, but I'm happy that I did it, but I don't think I would do it again.
Yeah.
Mike loved it.
To have been able to do it was really cool, and I'm glad that we did it. I'm super proud of Heather for how she pushed up the top and then coming down, because it feels very steep when you're looking down those steps, and it looks very steep when you're looking up the steps. So it's definitely, for someone afraid of heights, especially with that section where you're walking over the open railroad ties, definitely take the bypass, but it's a challenging hike. So there's no shame in not doing it or having to turn back around, because you feel it in your legs, and if you're afraid of heights, you definitely feel it a little bit more.
Yeah. But we stopped at the gas station to fill up our van, and now we are headed to go get pizza. I think Nathan is calling ahead to a Domino's or a Pizza Hut, so
yeah.
On to pizza and then the campsite for well-deserved pizza.
Yep.
This is our reward for that hike. 2 pizzas.
Yes.